I view the role of sheriff as the protector of the people, as one of the oldest elected positions in the world, really. It's the man or woman who's supposed to stand up for right or wrong, stand up for the people, and is able to do that because of the fact of being elected. You have 4 years in which if something is not popular, you don't have to act so much at that moment with what's politically correct. You can do the right thing. It gives you that ability to stand up and not be judged the following week and maybe be removed from office, but you can stand up for the people to do what's right. I never planned on being a law enforcement officer. I'd always planned on being an attorney. Every term paper I ever did from junior high school up was always on the law. And what the magnitude was is I was working a paint and glass store. And Volusia County Sheriff's Department was hiring 10 deputies in 1971. It was going to bring the number of full-time deputies up to approximately 25 deputies. And Sheriff Ed Duff, who was a retired FBI agent, who had actually recruited 2 of my uncles out of Stetson Law School when he was an FBI agent into the FBI, was the sheriff. And I looked at that as an opportunity. I had friends who were deputies, and I'd ride with them and enjoyed it. I thought, well, here's a way I can work my way through school and then go into law school. Well, I became a deputy in 1971. 30 months' time, I made sergeant. I was enjoying it. Next thing you know, you have 5 years, and you look at it and say, well, 10 years, you have a retirement, and I'm enjoying what I'm doing. Then 10 years gets here, and it's still fun, really enjoying it. I started making rank. And it just became the fact of that's what my life was going to be. It was going to be in the sheriff's office. That's where I stayed. Now let's go back as a young deputy. You sit and you see the sheriff. And to you, at that time, he was bigger than life. And to think that, you know, in the back of your head, you're dreaming, well, I could be the sheriff, or I'd like to be the sheriff, and not really ever thinking you're going to be that. But having that opportunity to become a sheriff, to live in those shoes, to where you're out there with the people, working with the people, where you're working with the rest of the sheriffs, and such great men and women out there, where you're sharing information, and that's one of the best things about the association, is the sharing of information. The training that's put on by the Florida Sheriff's Association, it's a shame that more states don't take this model and run with it. Knowing how to take and get funding up, you know, through sponsors, through partners, so that you can do these things, so that we can train all law enforcement, and not just deputy sheriffs, but all of law enforcement. But being able to be a sheriff is just, it's been an exciting thing. It's been like a dream. I'm not gonna say every day is a good dream. Some of those dreams are nightmares. Probably a case, though, that I remember the most, more than any other, was called the Xbox murders. And if I'm not mistaken, it's 2004. And it was a case where 6 young people were murdered by individuals with baseball bats, killed over a man who felt like he felt like he had been done wrong just verbally. Nothing there. But they killed these people, and it was the most brutal crime that I've ever seen, and it's one that has to be the absolute worst crime. We ended up with 2 on death row, 2 serving life sentences, but then you had 6 individuals whose families were basically ruined, and they were just innocent kids killed for no good reason. That case right there made international news, and we successfully closed the case, but it still was unsuccessful in the fact of an individual that should have been in prison and stayed in prison was able to come out and lead other individuals who, before this happened, they were known as basically, most of them as basically pretty good kids. But to lead them almost like in a Charles Manson sort of a deal, to where he led them out there to kill in a very cold-blooded manner. That's probably the case that means the most. But the majority of the time, the pride of being able to be a sheriff, to be able to go out there in the outside world and to help the people. And it just has really been a dream come true. And even though I'm retiring this year, I really meet that bittersweet because it's been a fantastic 16 years. And it's really been a great, all the way through my career, being able to work with people and to help people and feel like that the majority of your career was helping people, doing something for society, going out there to try to make a difference.